visit Cyrodiil someday, pal. My father told me to visit Westworld before the Thalmor invade again.
Come along, no more stops. We need to find our way to Solitude. Yes?
Why are we even going to a wedding at this far
Don't bother
end
me,
of the
peasant.
Empire
I've had a
anyway?
long journey and paid too much coin on these gifts to be late to Vittoria's wedding. Indeed, if we ever get there. I told you, it's the wedding of Vittoria Vici, an extremely well-connected merchant with the East End.
Heard they're reforming the Dawn Guard. Vampire hunters or something in the old fort near Riften. Might consider joining up myself.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, warm beds.
What? You're a talker, eh?
Need something?
Yes? You see any other inns around here? Where else would I go to drink?
Something I can get for you? Ah, hello there, traveler. Come to the Night Gate for food or lodging? This old place? Huh. Been here forever. Built by my great-granddad. Run by him, then all the way up the line to me. Nah, not so much. The odd traveler on the road. But mostly just old full-time. Come to drink away a lifetime of bad memories, I'd wager. Of course, there's the orc. Long-term tenant, that one. For what he pays, I could afford to shut this place down. Him? Oh, name's Balablob or Malaklob. One of them funny orc names. Talks real good, though. Not a savage at all. Said he's a writer. Don't know what kind of job that is, but it must earn him some pretty coin. He's paid up for the next few months. He mostly just hangs about. Goes down to the lake, sometimes samples the stores of wine in the cellar. Man can do whatever he pleases, as far as I care. Here, take a look at this. Some of the Jarl's men came by and left this bounty letter. Seen enough magic in my day to know to stay away from it. I'd stay away from the Jarl's wizard and Dawnstar, too. If you want to be a damn fool, go to the college in Winterhold instead. People say there's someone in Riften that can change your face, make you look completely different. Do you believe that? Let's sate that appetite, hmm? Anything you need. Something I can get for you? Sure thing. It's yours for a day. I'll show you to your room. Right this way.
Need something?
Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Hi there.
Yes?
You don't buy into all that Thalmor nonsense, right?
What could it mean? The return of the Dragonborn? And who among us could possibly hold such honor and such power?
These Draugr have been dead for thousands of years. Never set foot in Sylvangard. Without a hint of magic, they built ornate cities that lasted thousands of years.
Are you finished ogling the grotesque? I suppose I should be grateful you didn't simply attack me. I am one of the afflicted. I'd have been dead from this plague a year ago if not for Periite's protection. Returning to High Rock, our shepherd lost his way, and I fear Periite's wrath may consume those who remain with him. Kesh could tell you more. I just want out of Skyrim as quickly as possible.
Careful in there. I'd hate to see you survive so many battles only to be killed by a trap. You're not much of a warrior, are you? We could remedy that at some point if you'd like. It has me somewhat concerned.
To the inn for a drink, of course. Where else could I even go in this god's-forsaken town?
And what? You think that'll solve all your problems?
Probably not, but it's worth a try.
I think the reason why the college survived is obvious enough. They were able to protect themselves with magic. A shame they didn't share it.
Cross the bridge at your own peril. The way is dangerous, and the gate will not open. You shall not gain entry. Oh, forgive me. Most who arrive here do so because they have heard of the college beforehand. This is the College of Winterhold, a safe haven for mages in Skyrim, a place of wisdom and arcane knowledge. I am here to assist those seeking the wisdom of the college. And if, in the process, my presence helps to deter those who might seek to do harm, so be it. The more important question is, why are you here? Perhaps, but what is it you expect to find within? Ah, the immortal plane. It is said to be the source of all magic. This is a noble goal, indeed. It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will. Excellent. Those invested in restoration magic find healing hands to be essential. Can you cast it on me? That would prove your skill. No? Well, if you think you're capable of it, then I'd be happy to provide it to you for a mere 30 gold. Or you can try your luck with one of the court wizards around Skyrim. They also sell spells. Here you are. Now I'm anxious to see you cast it.
You're not good with the unconventional kind of fighting.
No matter what,
Neither
the
am
college
I,
will endure.
but I'll admit that it works better
Well done
sometimes.
indeed. Well done indeed. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice. I'll lead you across the bridge. Once you're inside, you'll want to speak with Mirabelle Irvine, our master wizard. Please, follow me. The college is an asset to Skyrim, even if it goes unnoticed or unappreciated. You'll need to speak with Mirabelle Irvine. Her quarters are in the Hall of Countenance, but she could be anywhere on the grounds. She's the master wizard here. Archmage Aaron may be in charge, but Mirabelle runs the place. You do well to remember that. We are the only group left in Skyrim dedicated to the study of the arcane. There are others who study, to be sure, but they do so in private and often in secret. Certainly. Destruction spells come in different forms, each useful for various purposes. Concentration spells can be cast immediately, though they're weaker. Good for a tight spot and less costly if you miss. You'll also need to decide whether to devote yourself to a single type of spell. Focusing solely on flame spells will make them more powerful, but you may find yourself at a disadvantage against foes immune to fire. Mirabelle will be waiting for you.
What is it?
I believe I've made myself rather clear.
Yes, of course. I'm simply trying to understand the reasoning behind the decision.
You may be used to the Empire bowing to your every whim, but I'm afraid you'll find the Thalmor
Let me
receive no
guess.
such treatment here.
Someone stole
You are
your
a guest
sweet
of the
robe.
college, here at the pleasure of the Archmage. I hope you appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, of course. The Archmage has my thanks.
Very good. Then we're done here. Welcome to the college. Another new student. I'm surprised at how many of you there are lately. Well, first you'll need these. While you're not required to wear them, You may find them more to your liking than your current clothes. I'll give you a brief tour, and then we'll get you to your first class. Are you ready to begin? Wonderful. Please follow me, and don't wander off. The College of Winterhold has been a fixture in Skyrim for thousands of years. The prominent feature here is the Hall of the Elements. It's our primary location for lectures, practice sessions, and general meetings. The Arcanium is located above the hall, and the Archmage's quarters above that. While technically in charge of the college, the Archmage's responsibilities often keep him occupied. Thus, I run the day-to-day operations. Now, if you'll please follow me, I'll show you the living quarters. Unfortunately, we've had to implement more stringent entry procedures due to some problems with the local Nords.
Enchanting services are one of the few things that keep us in touch with the rest of Skyrim. Until next time.
After I finish showing you the grounds, we can talk.
Watch the skies, traveler.
Our newest members are housed here, in the Hall of Attainment. I'll ask that you please keep your voice down while inside, as others may be working on research or delicate experiments. Now I'll show you to your quarters. You're going to be sharing space with your fellow apprentices, who you'll meet shortly. This is where you'll be staying. This bed and desk are yours. Please try and be considerate of others. Now, let's go back to the Hall of the Elements, where most of the members gather for lectures and study sessions. Initially, you'll be learning from Tolfdir, one of our most esteemed wizards. Tolfdir is likely already addressing the new apprentices. Go on in, and if you have any problems, let one of our senior members know.
Hard to believe I ever complained about Riften being cold.
What you learn here will last you a lifetime. Several, if you're talented. You are new here, are you not? We have not spoken. Then allow me to introduce myself. I am Savos Arin, Archmage of the College of Winterhold. I am quite content to see nearly any aspect of magic explored and investigated here. But I do not and will not approve of any research or experiments that cause purposeful harm to your fellow members of the college. Are we clear? Not often, no. Some risks must be taken, to be sure. I am simply trying to avoid untimely deaths. We also must make an effort to avoid worsening what Skyrim thinks of us.
Another new apprentice, I see. Are you of the sort that believe you're here to change the world? Or are you only in it for yourself? I assure you that I shall be watching you, all of you, very closely. Your superior and I were simply having a discussion about my level of access to the college. Nothing you need to concern yourself with. I shall be quite capable of observing everything that goes on here. I am an advisor to the Archmage. The Thalmor wish to promote relations with your college. I am at the Archmage's disposal if he requires advice. Perhaps not as often as he should. In time, I believe he will be more trusting. Now that stability has been established between the Dominion and the Empire, we seek only to help Skyrim, to guide its people through this time of transition, to help lead them to a better future.
Welcome, welcome. We were just beginning. Please, stay and listen. So, as I was saying, the first thing to understand is that magic is, by its very nature, volatile and dangerous. Unless you can control it, it can and will destroy you.
Sir, I think we all understand that fairly well. We wouldn't be here if we couldn't control magic.
Of course, my dear, of course. You all certainly possess some inherent natural ability. That much is not being questioned. What I'm talking about is true control, mastery of magic. It takes years, if not decades, of practice and study.
Then what are we waiting for? Let's get started.
Please, please. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Eagerness must be tempered with caution, or else disaster is inevitable.
But we've only just arrived here. You've no idea what any of us are capable of. Why not give us a chance to show you what we can do?
You've been quiet so far. What do you think we should do? Not going to weigh in either way? I admire your restraint, but there are times when you must make decisions, even without all the facts. Rely on instinct.
We're all pretty new at this, right? Let's just give it a chance. What's the worst that could happen?
All right, let's settle down. I suppose we can try something practical. In continuing with our theme of safety, we'll start with wards. Wards are protective spells that block magic. I'll teach you all a ward, and we'll see if you can successfully use it to block spells, all right? Would you mind helping me with the demonstration? Are you at all familiar with ward spells? That's all right. I can teach you a very basic ward, one that's enough for the purposes of this lesson. Now, if you'll just stand right over there, I'll cast a spell at you, and you block it with the ward. Here we go. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now, cast the ward spell, and keep it up. You have to keep your ward up, or else this won't work. I don't want to hurt you. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now, hold still. You have to keep your ward up, or else this won't work. I don't want to hurt you. Over there, please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Now, you have to keep your ward up, or else this won't work. Are one of the few things that keep us in touch with the rest Over of there, Skyrim. please, just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Hold still. Excellent work. Well, I think this is an excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please. I think perhaps we're ready to begin exploring some of the various applications of magic throughout history. The college has undertaken a fascinating excavation in the ruins of Sarthal nearby. It's an excellent learning opportunity. I suggest we meet there in a few hours and see what awaits us inside. That's all for now. Thank you.
You know, this is one of a very few places where you can receive a real education in the schools of magic. Before you even ask, yes, I have an ancestry steeped in magic, and no, I don't want to talk about it. Yes, I know Winterhold used to be full of my kind, and no, I don't care that they're all gone now. Does that cover everything? I've just been asked enough questions. I'm here to learn, not to explain myself over and over. Forgive me. I didn't mean to assume. Not really. Just that it's very, very old. It was one of the first cities of men in Tamriel, I think. Didn't you know? Before the Oblivion Crisis, many elves called Winterhold their home. More visited the college from Morrowind every year. After, growing distrust of magic made life difficult for many. Some left rather than endure the growing hatred from the local Nords. Others returned home after the Red Year, when Vardenfell erupted and caused much destruction. Winterhold itself died in the years between then and now. What's left out there is a husk. Only the college really remains. So far, if only because no one is telling me how great I ought to be. I just want to learn. I don't want to think about what's expected of me. I know I don't like the way he looks at me. I can't tell if he expects me to blow myself up or to try and murder him, but he clearly doesn't trust any of us. I'd better get going.
Take care if you're venturing too far from town. That's a bitter wind coming off the Sea of Ghosts.
What you learn here will last you a lifetime. Several if you're talented.
Please don't bother the Archmage unless it's absolutely necessary. There are no expectations. This college is a place to study and practice magic freely. Hopefully any discoveries made in your pursuits will be shared with the members of the college first. That way we all benefit. Well, that depends on what you're looking for. Beralda can teach destruction spells, and offers training in that school. Finnis is one of the best conjurers in all of Skyrim, and can help with spells from that school. Don't let Tolfdir fool you. He's the preeminent scholar on alteration, one of the best in Tamriel, and always willing to pass on his knowledge. If you can find him and focus his attention, there's a great deal Drevis can teach you about illusion magic. And finally, there's Colette. She may be difficult to get along with. She's very knowledgeable when it comes to restoration magic. If there are any problems, let me know. It's my job to keep things running smoothly.
You know, this is one of a very few places where you can receive a real education in the schools of magic.
I'll sell just about anything if it's worth my time. Keep that in mind, will you? I do what's necessary so we can get by. Have to, since I can't count on my brother for anything. Wasn't by choice, I can tell you that. Options were in short supply. Ranmir and I grew up here, and nearly any money I make, he drinks away. Without the coin to pack up and leave, I decided to take to trading. Very funny. I'm sure you've noticed that Winterhold isn't exactly overflowing with people. So I'll sell whatever I can. If it's worth putting a price on, you can bet I'll do it. I've been burned a few times, made a few bad deals, but mostly I come out on top. Yeah, it was stupid of me. I shouldn't have believed the story and just refused the trade. But I didn't, and now I'm stuck with this worthless junk. Some line about this clothing in Ingol Barrow. He said it was worth more than its weight in gold if I took it back there. Something about placing it back in Ingol's chamber, I don't know. What was I thinking? Even if it were true, I'm not setting foot in some ancient tomb filled with who knows what. I don't even care anymore. You want to check it out? Fine. I'll sell you the thing for 50 gold, and then it's your problem. Fine, here you go. You get killed on account of this thing, it's not my fault. Got it? But I suppose if it does actually turn out to be worth something, let me know, will you? Oh, a bit of this and a bit of that. Aye.
Not sure you belong here. I'm afraid the Winterhold you see before you is somewhat underwhelming. I can assure you, though, that it was quite something in its prime. An early capital of Skyrim, you know. Sadly, the Oblivion Crisis took its toll on Winterhold, in more ways than one. Then, the Great Collapse swallowed most of our beloved city. Just about 80 years ago, there was a terrible disaster. The cliffs overlooking the Sea of Ghosts collapsed, taking most of Winterhold with them. In the middle of it all, the college was practically untouched. Many of the survivors were suspicious. Some believed the mages were behind the whole thing, and others felt they could have at least prevented it. Archmage Aaron assures me that his people had nothing to do with it, and I believe him. But Winterhold never recovered. You may have noticed the college just to the north there. Very prestigious place. Mages from all over Tamriel traveled here to seek knowledge. After the Oblivion Crisis was over, many felt that magic users were to blame. Elves, to be specific. It created a great deal of tension. A good many dark elves were driven from the city, and people became uncomfortable with the presence of the college. Goodness, no. They're simply scholars. They mean no one harm. I've had several conversations with Archmage Aaron over the years. Oh, he's perfectly polite, if a bit guarded. Mm-hmm.
You're that one from the college. Heard about you. They say Ulfric Stormcloak murdered the High King with his voice. Shouted him apart.
What was that?
Clever the ancestors were, they hardly wore any... But never understood why. You don't buy into all that Thalmor nonsense, right?
I find it hard to believe this excavation was approved.
And here we all are. Shall we step inside? We're particularly interested in the prevalence of magical seals placed on the tombs here. It's rather unlike anything we've encountered. Anything at all that might be of interest. That's why I adore this location. We have no idea what we're going to find. And if along the way my message about the dangers of magic should happen to sink in for a few students, that would be a happy coincidence. All right. Please stay close to me while we're inside. It should be safe, but it's always better to be cautious.
You're not good with the unconventional kind of thing, are you? Neither am I, but I'll admit that it works better.
This is exciting, isn't it?
As some of you may know, Winterhold was one of the earliest Nord settlements in Skyrim. It was also the largest. Sacked by the elves in the infamous Night of Tears, not much is known about what happened to Winterhold. This is an exciting opportunity for us to be able to study such an early civilization and the magics they used.
Who knows what we might find in here?
Well, are there any questions before we begin? Ah, yes. Well, why don't you see if you can assist Arniel Gain? He's one of our scholars, here working on cataloging our finds. I expect he'd appreciate some help in locating any additional magical artifacts here in the ruins. Any enchanted items will do. The usefulness of the enchantment is irrelevant. If you find anything, the class can look it over. Now let's see. What shall we have the rest of you do? Berlina, my dear, why don't you search for warding magics? Anything designed to keep people out. Don't interact with them, just identify them. Almond, please search that area over there. See if you notice any residual energies, alive or undead.
You're not much of a warrior, are you?
What should we have you do?
We could remedy that at
Why
some
don't you
point.
verify that we're the first
It
ones
has
here?
me somewhat
Look for any
concerned.
amount of tampering with the tombs. All right, everyone. Let's be careful, but have fun.
It's going to take forever to sift through all this. What? Ah, yes, you. I remember you. You're going to help? That's fine. Just don't make a mess of my work. I've only looked through a portion of this section. You can look around in the chambers just north of here. Try and be careful, all right? We don't want to damage anything. He asked far too many questions about my research. I think the Thalmor are trying to steal my work. I haven't told him anything, of course. What I'm doing is far too important. Can't breathe a word of it. Uh-huh.
What in the world was that racket? Is everything all right? How in the world did that happen? Really? Perhaps the amulet is important somehow. Is there some way you can use it? Do you see that? Some kind of resonance. You and the wall. It must be connected to the amulet. I wonder what effect might your spells have?
I'll be amazed if we find anything useful here. I see. It probably doesn't even matter now, what with the mess that's been made in here. I'll add this to the rest of the items. I don't think there's anything further I need from you. Uh-huh.
Why in the world would this be sealed off? What is this place?
Hold, mage, and listen well. Know that you have set in motion a chain of events that cannot be stopped. Judgment has not been passed, as you had no way of knowing. Judgment will be passed on your actions to come, and how you deal with the dangers ahead of you. This warning is passed to you because the Psijic Order believes in you. You, mage, and you alone, have the potential to prevent disaster. Take great care, and know that the Order is watching.
I swear I felt something rather strange just then. What just happened? I'm afraid I didn't see anything. Can you tell me more about what you saw? The Psijic Order? Are you quite sure about that? That's very odd. And danger ahead? Why, that doesn't make any sense at all. The Psijics have no connection to these ruins, and no one's seen any of their order in a long time. Perhaps we should take a look inside these coffins. Now, please do be careful. Who knows what we're going to find? They were a group of mages with a history that predates the Empire. Very powerful, very secretive. No one's seen them in well over 100 years. They vanished, along with their sanctuary on the Isle of Artaeum. I have no idea what connection they'd have to this place. I have no idea, but it's fascinating. Assuming it's true, of course. The Isle of Artaeum disappeared over 100 years ago, and no one has seen them since. And yet now, suddenly, they've chosen to contact you. Why, it's intriguing. If nothing else, I'd take it as a compliment. The Psijics have only ever dealt with those they feel worthy. Until next time. This is simply fascinating. This is simply fascinating. This is simply fascinating. Take care now. I've never seen anything like this in Nordic ruins before. Why, just look at all the... I've never seen anything like this in Nordic ruins before. Why, just look at all these coffins. This bears closer inspection. I'd like to stay a while and examine this. You, however, should press on. See if you can find whatever this vision of yours mentioned. But if it is truly dangerous, be careful. Go on ahead. I'll be sure and catch up with you before long.
Let's go. more nonsense. Right? Right behind you. Clever as the ancestors were, they hardly wore any armor. Never understood why. You don't buy into all that Thalmor nonsense. Right behind you.
I thought it high time I caught up with you.
Still here.
What could this place be? Mm-hmm. Well now, would you look at that? I never imagined we'd find something like this. Why is this buried so far within some... Huh? Nothing seems to work. Keep it busy. I'll try to drain some of its power. This is simply fascinating. I have no idea. This is amazing. Absolutely amazing. The Archmage needs to be informed immediately. He needs to see this for himself. I don't dare leave this unattended. Can you return to the college and inform Savos Aran of this discovery? Please, hurry.